welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing Georgia's makeup. I did a lesson with Georgia this day and I thought why not, we might as well use the time that we have. So I also did her makeup after as well. So starting off with brows, I'm taking the Inglot Brow Gel in the shade 16 and just applying this to her brows. I do make them a little bit thicker and kind of just fill them out nicely. This look is going to be like it's pretty colourful actually, like kind of bright sort of sunset colours with a bit of blue on the lid and then blue underneath the lash line as well. I don't know, I was kind of feeling a little bit creative and I was like, yeah, let's just do something random and colourful. Obviously, next up we have the P. Louise Eye Base in the shade Rumour. As you all know, I'm obsessed. Carve out the under the eyebrows and also use as an eye base too. Patting it all over the lid and continue patting it until it kind of doesn't crease anymore because I don't know, you kind of work it in and that's how it sets. It's really strange, but you can kind of tell when you don't need to pat it anymore. Next, I'm taking the Stacey Marie Carnival palette and I'm taking the shades Funky and also Wifey mixed together. A little bit more of Funky as I wanted it to be more of like the fluoro shade. And then I'm going to be blending that up into Lit, which is like a orange sort of color. And then I'm going to be blending that out into a tiny little bit of Keen. Like I always say, packing on the colors because we're doing a cut crease. So I'm going to be packing the colors pretty much all over her eyelid apart from that tiny little gap because we don't really need to cover that, but all the way through the front. That's how, when you're going to go do your cut crease, that's how it looks so sharp and so crisp because you've got that color there and the depth there that when you cut it with the either concealer or the gel liner, it just looks really sharp and crisp because it's got a color underneath to make the concealer or the gel liner pop more. And then once you stick the pigment over, it pops even more as well. Okay, then I'm just cutting the crease, so using my Manicare concealer brush and a bit of 94 gel liner from Inglot, and I'm just going to be, packing this all over the lid. Obviously, when I did the line at the top, like when I first start to cut the crease, I do tell a client, I don't tell them to be quiet, but I kind of just say, I'm just going to concentrate while I do this, just so you get like that really crisp, sharp line. Otherwise, it's really difficult to get a nice, clean line. Then I'm just wiping off a little bit of the excess and kind of pushing the product in the outer corner. I'm then going to be applying the pigment from Peaches and Cream, which is Pool Party, and it's kind of like this weird sort of bluey, greeny reflex sort of color. It's really cool and it looks really nice on the lid as well. I'm just packing that on, again being really precise and careful with this, making sure that I'm not getting it anywhere else apart from where it's supposed to be. Then just taking Wifey and Funky mixed together and just blending the outer corner of the pigment where the pigment and the eyeshadows meet together. I'm just blending them all in, which looks, I'm kind of happy with how it looks actually. I'll show you, like I'll obviously insert photos and stuff of how it all looks on my Instagram. Then I'm just applying some gel liner 77 from Inglot as usual, just to the lash line, and then I'm going to be smoking out a tiny little bit just to cover so it's not as blunt at the ends. Where the gel liner stopped. I'm just going to be packing a little bit of black eyeshadow, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Noir eyeshadow. Now I'm just applying some lashes. These are just from AliExpress and I'm just using the Huda Beauty lash glue as well, which is literally my favorite. Then I'm just going to be cleaning up underneath her eyes, and I'm also going to be doing the underneath of her eyes before I do her base as well, just as I'm going to be doing like kind of like a dark blue shade and I didn't want any of this going on her foundation. So I'm going to be putting some of the P. Louise eye base underneath and then I'm going to be applying an eyeshadow over the top of that as well. And that eyeshadow is Mood from the Stacey Marie palette as well. And then I'm going to be kind of lightly blending that out into Sky, which is also from the Stacey Marie Carnival palette as well. I'm going to be putting a little bit of 77 gel liner in her waterline too, just to kind of darken that up. And then after that, I do go ahead and apply a little bit of black eyeshadow in the outer corner again, just to darken that up further. Okay, so for base, I'm just going to go through this really quickly because you all know what I do. I do the same thing pretty much on everyone. So just taking my Benefit Matte Rescue Primer, then I'm going to be taking my Laura Mercier Radiance Primer, my Too Faced Foundation, which I used in the shade Light Beige with a Dirty 30s Big Sponge, then my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard on a little Dirty 30s sponge, setting that down with some Laura Mercier Translucent Powder. I'm then going to be cream contouring with some Bobbi Brown foundation stick in the shade Cool Almond, and then setting the rest of her face with some of the Australis Fresh and Flawless powder in the shade Darkest Brown. I'm going to be further contouring and bronzing using the Hoola by Benefit bronzer, and then also the MAC Give Me Sun. Then I'm going to be adding some blush, which is the Warm Soul from MAC, and then the Balm Hot Mama blush. Then highlighter is MAC Oh Darling, and also a little bit of the Inglot Sparkle Dust in 02. I also do add a little bit of the Laura Mercier Glow Translucent Powder to her face, just as I wanted it to be a little bit more glowy, and I'm really liking the finish of this as well. It looks super nice. Then I just go ahead and blend out the edges of the eyeshadow. As I've said, the P. Louise eye base blends really nicely into the foundation, so you don't have any blunt edges where everything sort of meets. So you can't really tell that I've done the eyes before I've done the foundation. I'm just going to be adding a little bit of inner corner highlight, which is MAC Nylon. Then for lips, I'm taking the MAC Strip Down Lip Pencil, and I'm also taking the lipstick Honey Love and applying that to her lips as well. Then just applying some mascara and some setting spray, which is the Kat Von D Lock-It Setting Spray, and we're finished. So this is pretty much the finished look. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know the lighting did go a little bit darker towards the end and I apologize for that. But if you did, then please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye!